What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about One Piece chapter 1018 and just trying to break it all down. So don't forget to like, subscribe for more anime because if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification because you know on YouTube you're trying to play with us. For the bell notification, don't forget to have it set to all instead of personalized. But we're going to get right into it, obviously. But first question of the day. Question of the day is, what was your favorite part of the chapter, or what are you most interested in seeing next? For me, I feel like it's kind of obvious. It has to be Jimbei versus Usu. A lot of people didn't even expect we were going to get the fight. People were thinking we were going to have that off screen. So to have a lot of the fight and to get some little piece of information was obviously a big deal. But yeah. So we first start out with basically Tama, and Tama's been, I think I said this a couple times about now, but Tama's just been being the MVP of Wano for a good amount of time, and she's just continuing to do so. And we get some stats, and again, CP0 is one of those people where it's like, whenever they're on screen, pay attention, and they were on screen, at least this chapter. And with CP0, we see CP0, and they basically give us a breakdown of how many people are left, and I think it's something like, they said that the forces have been whittled from like 30k to 20k. The fact that Tom has been able to move the numbers by this amount is crazy, which explains why I'm pretty sure that Kaido wanted Tama, or someone wanted Tama at the beginning of the arc. But yeah, we just seeing Nami and Usopp are basically playing like babysitter with Tom, trying to protect her, and they're running away from threats and stuff. But more importantly, CP0. And CP0 is like they're chilling. They're like they reveal some of their intentions, which obviously is CP0. So if CP0 is telling you what their intentions are, that's what the people you gotta listen to. CP0 basically is like, we don't really care who wins this war. Like, it doesn't really, that stuff doesn't really matter. What we care is killing an escapee. Like, I mean, there's some, and another CP0 agent's like, bro, I mean, Jimbei's fighting him, so it's only like he has a chance. So shout out, we love some Jimbei praise because Jimbei is that man's. And the power scaling thing with Jimbei is weird. But yeah, the fact that they won, and not only the fact that he was in prison for like, I'm assuming like 12 years. Not only that, but also the fact that the CP0 still want to kill him, even after all this time. I'm not gonna say it's not looking good for the Gum crew, but it's like, it just is pushing the question of why they want him dead so quick, like so much. What did the Gomu no Mi, what did the Gum crew do, or what does it have? What does it contain, or whatever? What is the reason why they were so like mad? Because even like the OP no Mi, which is, I think objectively you could say it has more value or it does more. That was taken, and like, obviously there's different circumstances, but still, like, we've never seen someone so thirsty for a fruit before. It's like, bro, come on. Even the Mera no Mi, and you could argue that that's better than the Gomu no Mi. But more importantly, we go to Jimbei and Usu, which is, I think that's a big deal, I think, especially if we're talking about power scaling and everything. But Jimbei and Usu, they're going back and forth, and it's honestly a pretty good fight. Usu has some attacks here and there. Obviously, he has his 6 technique variations, which I think is really cool. Like, we didn't really see a lot of that in the Ease lobby arc. Obviously, we saw like Lucci had some variants. Every 6 powers master had like 1 or 2 variants. But it seems like Usu got mad variants. But they're fighting and they're going over it, and we get some more information from Usu. Usu basically says that the person he really hates is Shanks, because obviously Shanks the one who took the fruit, which, we knew that as the last chapter, but still. And then he said red hair is Shanks, so that doesn't necessarily mean that Shanks the one that took it directly, but one of Shanks' crew, which we already knew. And then he says that he's gonna hate Luffy, like by not the zombie, he's just gonna hate Luffy just because Luffy has the straw hat that Shanks had, and he has the Gomu no Mi. So it's really just, with Luffy, it's just a case of like wrong place, wrong time, or like that Thanos meme where he's like, where she's like, oh, I hate you, and Thanos like, I don't even know you. Like, Luffy got another person that hates him, and Luffy does not even know him, so have fun with that, Luffy. But they're going back and forth, and Usu talks about how another reason why he was interested in Jimbei is because he was in prison for so long, and he heard about this story about the Sun God, and I feel like when Usu revealed that he kind of, I think in the last chapter he kind of basically said that he's only interested in Jimbei because he's a straw hat. I feel like there's more to that. I feel like the only time that they could have both been in jail at the same time would be Impel down, or around that time. And my headcanon always was like, Usu was able to escape amongst the chaos because we didn't see every single cell, and he could have escaped with the escapees and stuff. But it looks like Usu might have escaped a little bit earlier, which I don't know if that the timelines fit with them both being in prison, but whatever. So Usu talks about the Sun God Nika, and obviously I have to confer with my brother. I was like, hold on, Sun God. He basically was like, bro, the Sun God Nika is JoyBoy, and you know, there's a clues where he's talking about how he brings joy to people, he frees them, and man, we don't know much about JoyBoy, but we do know that Joy is probably involved with the boy. So, yeah, if the Sun God Nika is JoyBoy, that, I mean, it's not a huge like deal, but I feel like it's still a huge deal because one, that means the Sun God Nika relates somewhat to Fishman Island, which we kind of already knew because Fishman Island we always knew was an important place, but the Sun Pirates, we can confer, we can kind of agree that they probably get their name from the Sun God Nika. And it seems like Jimbei, he had like that. The Sun God Nika story is very important to him. He just started turning up when basically he heard who's who butchering it, and also the fact that the world government is very, very sneaky with it. The one guard that told who's who about him disappeared and was never seen again. I think that's kind of, he disappeared for a couple of days later and was never seen again. And that's when who's who was able to escape. So it's almost like the world government jeopardized who's imprisonment in order to stop the spread of the story of this guy. And we know Emu, we know the Gorosei. Those are two people that if they're hearing stories about JoyBoy, they definitely definitely want to cut that off as quickly as possible. So a potential, like, I don't know, JoyBoy is, you know, the Sun God Nika is JoyBoy. That's kind of crazy, especially if we can get more information about that. I really like. Again, I've been hyped for the Jimbei fight since the fight started. That's one of the fights among the Straw Hats that I've been most interested in, and that was before who's information dropped, before all these bombshells dropped. So I'm really hyped. Hopefully we can get a who's who flashback. Hopefully we can get maybe a Jimbei flashback. I mean, we have a Jimbei flashback, but there's going to be a lot of stuff about Jimbei that we don't know. Like, I honestly want to see more about prior to the Sun Pirates like being created. Like, is there some stuff there that we're missing? Because Jimbei is very serious about the Sun God Nika, and if that's JoyBoy, and Jimbei knows a little bit about JoyBoy, I would like to know why or how. He talks about how a story of like the Sun God that would come and free slaves was something that basically who's who held on and clung on as hope. And he talked about how, you know, and Jimbei, what's funny about Jimbei is Jimbei's done this twice now. Jimbei is like basically like, bro, what does that have to do with me? Like that doesn't involve me. And who's like, bro, I mean, you were a part of the Sun Pirates and you're captain. And basically Jimbei kind of blows a fuse. And like, one, we see who's who like finger get bent from using, because he's using finger pistols, like a bunch of them, and his finger gets bent. And I'm pretty sure we've never seen that, which is funny because we had a whole arc of people that had that ability. We've seen it like been like blocked and stuff, but it never actually like, you know, their finger pistol getting like bent or their finger getting hurt. So that was very cool. But yeah, Jimbei, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot more stuff there. Like Jimbei has a lot of, I'm not gonna say secrets, but Jimbei has a lot of things that we don't know about him. So hopefully, like I said, during this fight we can get some flashbacks or something. You know, straighten some stuff out. But Jimbei basically says like, if you don't know the story of like, you don't know the story, don't be basically don't be telling it halfway type thing. And Jimbei kind of turns up, and honestly I feel like, I guess power scaling wise, because Jimbei is obviously a part of the crew now, and you know, people like to slander him and say he's above, and he's a character where, you know, you're not really sure where he is, and I feel like it makes sense for him to be right under the monster trio, but he's comparable to them, and which is why I feel like who's who could be anywhere from like Queen to like just below Jack, which is a good spot for him, because I think at the beginning of the arc, this completely slipped my mind. I didn't think Who's Who was going to be this important, but apparently Who's Who was trying to go for the spot of Queen, which means Who's Who probably thinks he's around that level. And if he's around the level of Queen, who Sanji's about to beat and win most likely against, that's a good power scaling for Jimbei, where he's close to the third member of the Monster Trio. But man, the fight is going good so far, honestly. We're seeing a lot of new stuff. We saw Jimbei bust out a new attack as well. We know the basic Fishman karate, but he's got some new attacks he busted out. Who's Who has a lot of cool variations of the 6 power techniques that are really cool. CP0 are people we have to monitor at all times, because I feel like every now and then they give us like an overview of the war in a chess type format. We get the numbers of how many people are left. Again, every time they're on screen, they do say something really cryptic and important. This time they're talking about Who's Who and just, you know, trying to confirm that they want him dead. So that obviously brings more questions of how crazy Who's Who is. Tama's being MVP of the arc, as she always is. But you know, yeah, you'd love to see it, honestly. So this is a pretty good chapter, though. I really like it, though. It's a pretty good chapter. I like what has happened so far. Obviously, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already. But that's all. So I'm out. Peace.